Hi friends, Dr. Vinita, MPT Ortho. Today's our topic is posterior shoulder instability, which are special tests we perform for examination, okay, and for the diagnosis purpose. In my last video, you see the posterior shoulder instability, how it occurs, what are the symptoms, and you see the one article about the shoulder joint posterior instability, how that occurs. In this part we proceed toward the tests. First test is posterior load and shift test. In this, what place patient supine with arm in neutral rotation with 40 to 60 degree abduction and forward flexion. Load humeral head and apply anterior and posterior translating forces. Noting like this in sitting position also and in supine position also you can do this test. The posterior load and shift gradings are like 1 plus in the apparent translation but not to rim. In 2 plus translation to glenoid-labral rim. In 3 plus translation over glenoid-labral rim. In 4 plus translation with complete dislocation. Next we proceed to the jerk test. In this, place arm in 90 degree abduction, internal rotation, elbow is bent, apply an axial force along axis of humerus and adduct the arm to a forward flexed position. Next test is a clunk, a positive for posterior subluxation, 97% sensitive for posterior labral tear when combined with a Kim test. Here the performance of jerk test. Direction of pressure, elbow flexed, okay, abduction and the direction of forces, physiotherapist arms. Clunk test. In this, by one hand we apply the force, another hand we externally and internally rotate the arm. Kim test performed by having the patient seated arm at 90 degree abduction followed by flexing the shoulder to 45 forward flexion while simultaneously applying axial load on the elbow and posterior inferior force on the upper humerus. Test is positive when pain is present. This is Kim test presentation. Posterior stress test. Stabilize scapula. Look for posterior translation with a posterior direct force. Pain is elicited often, but this is not a specific finding. Here you see one research the biomechanical effect of specific labral and capsular region on posterior shoulder instability. This research is done by Matthias Wellmans and their colleagues. Archive of Orthopedic and Trauma Surgery. We found this article and in 2011. What are the conclusions? On the basis of our result, traumatic posterior shoulder instability must be suspected to be bidirectional, posterior-inferior independently, if a posterior capsule lesion or a posterior Bankart lesion is evident. What do you understand by this? If they found that the results of traumatic posterior shoulder must be suspected to be bidirectional. Okay, if a posterior capsular lesion and the posterior Bankart lesion is evident. Clinical relevance. The capsular and the labral lesion both have a significant biomechanical effect but differ in the predominant directions of instability. which is posterior for the Bankart lesion and inferior for the capsular lesion. An additional PHAGL or a rotator interval lesion aggravate the posterior inferior instability and must be respected in the surgical treatment strategies. All about the special test. We done 2 classes. First class, what is the posterior shoulder instability, and next is the specific test for posterior shoulder instability. And thank you for watching, and please like, share and subscribe my channel. And in next video we learn the rehabilitation part of the posterior shoulder instability.